Welcome back to It's Chow Time Pod. It's your host Red. I got another video today, compilation video for Pearl. Shout outs to Pearl. She was great. She did great on that Vice interview, and yeah, it's her being savage and on her show. All right, please like and subscribe down below. I'd really appreciate that. And let's get to the chow. It's chow time, guys.
Do you think sex is to men what attention is to women?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so would you argue that we cheat on men by having open Instagram accounts while in a relationship?
Wait.
Ding.
Wait, what?
Right?
I said, is sex to men what attention is to women? You all said yes. Please
Yeah.
don't change it now.
Yeah.
So could we argue that we cheat by having open Instagram accounts while in a relationship?
No.
Posting first track. Wow.
You can
Having the man like all the pictures. No, because
No, because we just agreed
understand the analogy.
they're the
Do
same.
sex.
They're the same.
Right? Please don't go back on
Attention.
that.
Good questions, Pearl.
We can want what we want. That's fine. It's okay. But like, if a guy that wasn't making any money wanted Beyonce, we would kind of laugh.
Yep.
But like, as women, we can come forward and say, I want a top 10% guy, and nobody's gonna nobody's gonna look at you twice. And it's I think would I prefer a guy that makes more than me? Yeah. But do I think I'm gonna get one? Probably not.
Yeah.
We can want what we want.
That's the thing. It's the probability versus possibilities. Everything is possible. Everything's possible. Is it probable? Fuck no, it isn't.
Women live in possibilities.
That's funny, I just talked
while
about this
men
one.
live in probabilities.
but
So like women, we live in like this la la land where it's like, no offense, that sounds nice, but like women get more and more delusional. We get fatter, we get less pure, we get less of all the things that men value. Men value purity, they value youth, and it's us. It's not them because women we're older than ever before. We're less pure. I mean, like a guy prays for less than 5 bodies. How many bitches got 5 bodies by the time they're 31, which is the average age of first marriage in the UK?
I mean, in their
Women live in
30s, I don't see very
possibilities.
many people having only 5 bodies or less. So
The idea
to
is
this.
like, can you turn a hoe into a housewife? And the thing is, like,
No
your
dice.
habits are who you are. So if a girl's been doing something for 10 years, like, is she gonna magically stop one day? Probably not. It's the same thing with a guy. If he's cheated in every single relationship he's been in, he's probably gonna cheat on you too.
Listen to
the only way I can see a hoe being able to change into a housewife, unless you are literally the best man that in her eyes possible. If you are literally the best that she thinks that she can ever get in her life, and she knows it, she'll probably be a good housewife. But if you aren't, good luck.
They just want to say you're a woman. Oh, don't ask a woman what a man needs. Don't ask a woman about alpha. No. What? Speak rationally. Have a rational discourse.
Well, I mean, the point they're making about don't ask a woman, like, what you're talking about, dating advice.
General, like you can't ask a woman what an alpha is. Can't ask a man what a high value is. Well, you can't ask a woman this. What are you talking about? You can ask humans what humans do.
Yeah, I mean, you can ask, but usually they talk about dating advice. Like, don't take dating advice from women. It's like, are you asking the fisherman? That's usually what they're talking about.
But then wouldn't that also apply? Then don't ask men for men advice because you don't ask the fish. Like, wouldn't that be don't ask men for men about
For
advice
date-
about men?
Well, see, no, because men have had to listen to what women have to say for years. Women don't have to listen to what men have to say. That's why it's so triggering a lot of times when I say things on this podcast. Like, men know what we want because they've had to listen to us for the last 20, 30 years.
Yep.
Most girls don't want to date virgins, but why do we have to jump through hoops to get to the answer?
That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
No, but
what is that?
you know what? I've
Is that-
never been faced with it, so I'd
I
be
know.
like, if I was, I think I'd be a bit more open-minded
answer it
about it.
quickly.
But you
I'd
know,
be bad man.
but you know what I'm saying. It's
I'll
like you
answer it
prefer.
quickly.
You prefer men with experience.
Of course.
We all.
Of course, we all do it, but I think that's with everyone. But you might not always get that, so you can't be shallow-minded.
Okay. Most girls don't.
It's not with everyone. Mostly just men prefer it. Mostly women prefer, experience. Men can care less about experience half the time. So
I hate it when girls take what?
stifled your own
No,
whatnot.
no. Why do we take credit for men's success? If your guy was successful, he was gonna do it with or without you. We didn't build anyone up. We didn't build anyone up. My dad is a top 1% earner. I grew up around these top 1%, 5% men. I promise to God, they love their wives. Their wives are there for them, but they would have been rich with or without them.
All right.
I hate it when girls take what?
Yeah, it's a mindset and a drive. If these men have it already, a woman doesn't change the mindset and their drive. It just makes them work a little bit harder, but there's.
I don't understand why these girls are getting babies left and right. 41
I
forms of
don't
birth
either.
control.
Yeah, but you can be married, and have a kid. It doesn't mean that you just get with
okay,
someone
but then you have a duty. Don't leave.
What do you mean?
Don't leave. Women leave 70% of the time. If they're college educated, they leave 90% of the time.
Correct.
Women ruin relationships and they ruin families. I don't understand why these girls are getting babies. A lot of guys commit suicide because think about it. Put yourself in those guys' shoes. You work for 20, 30 years. You're still young. You lost everything tomorrow. You could still build it back.
Yeah, but I'm not
Right, but I'm saying this guy's 55. His wife leaves. A lot of guys commit suicide.
It's tough for men in the divorce court. There's good amount of suicide, and there's good amount of homelessness because of it too, on the men's side.
But your value decreases as a woman the older you get, and your opportunity to give a man children is less and less the older you get. Yeah, you can have IVF, but most guys don't want to spend like 30K?
That's a lot of fucking money.
16K? Yeah.
Work most of the time.
Yeah, so I mean, if a guy can pick, a 35-year-old woman or a 25-year-old woman, he's gonna pick the 25-year-old woman. But your value.
This is all we're saying, all the women that are older and in their 30s or mid 30s, we just have the option to be able to choose younger. That's all it is.
I'm not talking about slight changes to your body because you had kids. I'm talking about women that let themselves get obese. Obese.
Yep.
And I'm not talking about men that leave the second their woman gains a little bit of weight. I'm talking about men that tell their wives or feel like they can't tell their wives, okay, that they're gaining weight and they're not sexually attracted to them anymore. That's an important part of a marriage. So yeah, men have the same right that women do.
Damn right.
They can leave for whatever reason they want. I don't think you should stay with someone you want the kids to be together.
Damn right.
I'm not talking.
I mean, my parents didn't do so well, like, romantically, but they stayed together for the kids, and I think it was a big benefit for us. So.
Listen to this.
Yeah.
I owe you absolutely
But you know what the
nothing. Hang on,
difference is?
let me speak. I owe you absolutely nothing as a man who doesn't know you, right?
course.
So what happens is the simp culture within the Western world has become a norm.
Yeah.
So men will say, okay, cool. And this is why I speak to men. Men, I'm going to speak to you, right? Because if you are out here with a lot of money, you may have a lot of money. Stop giving pretty women stop giving pretty women attention. Because what happens is you will lose your resources, you will lose your money, you will lose your time, and what will happen is they will take your time, effort, resources, all the things that you built up, and they'll be on to the next.
Yep.
Listen to this.
Yeah.
That's what I tell men. Don't spend money on women. Like, of course, if you want to take them out on a date, minimal dates, but don't be spending all your paychecks on women. Don't be spending money on OnlyFans. Don't be giving women money. It's your hard-earned money, man. Like, come on.
Listen to this. But it's still you're taking it, and you're young, so this is kind of like when I was younger, I didn't really understand this either. But like, men and women can't be friends. They're not your friends. The only reason they're talking, they're trying. Okay, yeah. And if you were, and I promise you, if you were 300 pounds, they would not be your friend anymore.
Yep.
Listen to this. But it's still your.
At 5?
You think you're in the top 15% of beauty? Why aren't you in Hollywood? Where are your modeling contracts?
My modeling contracts are not there because I'm not trying to be a model.
They find you.
No, but I don't want to be a model.
Find people in the smallest
People, listen, ask me what people are finding me for. At 5?
You think
Water movement think they're all 10s.
men and women don't look at children the same, and you can't change reality. It just is what it is.
Yep.
I've heard guys say they get more girls after they have kids. I've never heard a single mother say her dating options got better after a child. I've never heard that. I've heard guys say they brought their kid to the park because they know the girls would aw. Men.
Yeah, I mean, age works differently for men and women. Just because women started with value, men didn't. So having to create value, time is on our side.
Most girls that have been on my show have been cheated on at some point. Women like women that other women like. No girl wants a guy that nobody wants. And I'll give you a reason why. One in 3 men are either virgins or haven't had sex in the past year. So if you wanted a guy that nobody wanted, there's a whole group, 1 out of 3. But we don't want them. Most girls that have been on my...
Yeah, I mean, most women don't want average men. I mean, they have their preferences and they're allowed to have those preferences. And I think men should be stepping up too, to not pay for everything for these fucking women, but we do need to step up our game and our purposes and our careers. A lot of men don't make that much money and are living paycheck to paycheck. How are you going to start a family like that? How was that, Chow? Just nice little quick clips from Pearl and Pearl's show. She always spits facts, and I love that she tells these women straight up. Like, Pearl is actually doing a good job in the manosphere, in my opinion, just because she's informing these women, and she's a woman. They're a little bit more inclined to hear from her than they are to hear from us. But as we notice on the show, they're not inclined to really listen to much anyways. But please like and subscribe down below. I'd really appreciate that, and I'll catch you on the next time. It's chow time, guys.